Greetings, brothers and sisters in Christ. This weekend is the 22nd Sunday of Ordinary Time. We find ourselves in the 16th chapter of the Gospel of Matthew. We're following last week. Last week, Jesus asked his disciples, "Who do you say that I am?" And Simon Peter said, "You are the Christ, you are the Son of God." And Jesus said, "You are right, Peter. And now I'm going to name you Rock. And upon this rock, we're going to build our church." A great moment of clarity. And then we pick up with today's gospel. Jesus begins to teach the disciples that the Son of Man must go to Jerusalem, suffer greatly, be killed, and on the third day be raised. This means that Jesus is leading the disciples into what we call the Paschal mystery. And it's the path of one who must follow Jesus. Jesus doesn't say, "If you follow me, I'll protect you from all harm. You're never going to have suffering in your life." That's what we call the prosperity gospel. We have a Jesus who says, "I'm with you in suffering and I'm with you in dying. You're going to have suffering in your life and I'll be there with you." And each one of us faces death, and Jesus says, "I'll be there with you." So we learn how to follow him. Well, how does Peter respond to this? Peter takes Jesus aside and begins to rebuke him. So first of all, if you take Jesus aside and rebuke him, you're in a bad place spiritually. And what does Jesus do to Peter? He says, "Get behind me, Satan." So just a minute ago, Peter's the rock, and upon this rock I will build my church, and now Jesus says, "You are Satan." Who is Satan? He's the master of lies. And what is the great lie that Peter is saying? He's saying that to be a Christian means you don't ever have to suffer. That's a lie. Everyone suffers. And Jesus says, in fact, if you want to be my disciple, deny yourself, take up your cross, and follow me. So to be a disciple means I'm willing to suffer. I'm willing to take whatever suffering comes into my life, and I'm going to find some way to offer that up. I think many people come to Jesus and they love him in their imagination, they love him in their prayer, they love him in adoration, but when asked to do something difficult for him, it's natural that we balk. Well, to be a disciple, we should readily and willingly say, "Yes, whatever it takes, I will lay down my life for you." And so suffering has a different meaning now. And that's maybe one of the gifts and curses of this pandemic is the suffering that's here of COVID-19. What do I do with that? I can become overwhelmed with it and say it's too much, I don't know what to do. Or we can assign meaning to it, meaning I don't know what this is, but I'm going to trust that God is the God of the universe. I don't know the answer, but I'm going to trust that God knows the answer. And even more, the old Catholic adage, "Offer it up," we call that redemptive suffering. If I have hardship in my life, I'm going to offer it up for someone else. It might be someone in particular or someone in general. And I find that if I offer my suffering for someone else, suddenly I bear it lovingly and I feel the presence of Christ. So let us turn to him and trust in him.